one of the most exciting knockout artists and best personalities in the history of the sport. I'm bigging you up here, but it's the truth. We all loved you growing up, man. What was that experience like in Pride in the early 2000s? Because you were just wrecking havoc in Japan, weren't you?
Oh man, I used to love it. That was like some of my best memories, best experience fighting in Japan. It's like the Japanese fans, they just make it a whole different experience over there. Like they're really nice. That they love you, they give you gifts. They don't care if you win or lose, as long as you put on a good fight, right? Like the American fans, they only love you if you win, and if you lose, they talk shit on you, you know. So it's hard to, you know, come from Japan where it's more about entertainment than go to fight in the UFC in the States, where it's all about being the best, you know? Like, I never aimed to be the best fighter in MMA. My aim was always to entertain the crowd and be the most exciting fighter.
You did that every single time you got in there, man. And I'm sure you all absolutely loved Pride as well. The different variations of the rules. There was so many different ways you could finish a fighter. You finished people with soccer kicks before, knees to the head, and obviously the power bomb to Ricardo Arona. Yeah. One of the most iconic finishes in the history of the sport. But what were your feelings like going into a Pride fight in comparison to a UFC fight?
My feelings? You know, when I was fighting in Pride, I was younger, and you know, I didn't care about a lot of stuff when I was younger. And a lot of my fights in Pride, whether you guys know it or not, was like last-minute fights. So they'll have me like 2 weeks notice or something like that. They'll throw me into a fight. So, you know, it was a little bit more stressful sometimes fighting over in Japan. And I remember we fought earlier in the day in Japan, and we fought on Sundays instead of fighting on Saturday, you know. And it's like early in the day we'd be fighting, so people could see it on TV in the States. So I think I'd be fighting around like 5 or 6 o'clock in the day. Like in UFC, we was fighting nighttime. By the time I fight, it'd be like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you know. So it just makes a difference for me because we would leave the hotel earlier in the day to go to the fight, right? So it's just different mindset for me. But I don't remember exactly what I'd be thinking about because I'm two people. I hit a switch when I fight, so.
I mean, we mentioned the slam there of Arona, absolutely iconic. Hadn't really been done before to that degree, coming out of a triangle choke to try to submit you. That was just raw aggression. Was that something that you've always thought, if someone tries to lock me up in that submission, I've got the power to pick them up and slam them? Or did you surprise yourself?
Well, that's a move that I've only done in training, but I never like slam anybody with it because I never was trying to hurt anybody. But that fight with Ricardo Arona, that's the only time I ever lost my temper in a professional fight. Ricardo Arona, he kind of pissed me off. Behind the scenes stuff happened that you guys don't know. I was supposed to have fought him in a tournament, but last minute he pulled out and said his knee was hurt, and I ended up fighting his teammate, Murillo Bustamante. And I didn't know I was fighting him until I got to Japan. And Murillo Bustamante was a real tough fighter. He was like a real tough black belt. And the rules state in Pride at the time, if you get a last minute opponent, if your opponent pull out, you're supposed to get another opponent that's less danger than the one that you was originally training for. But I felt like Bustamante was more dangerous than Arona because his jiu-jitsu, and it was just a different fight. And so I was walking to the store, to the 7-Eleven, and I see Ricardo Arona walking out of the 7-Eleven like nothing wrong. Then he noticed it was me. Then he's like, oh, he saw I lipping. And he had like 2 Band-Aids like with an X on his knee. Like, I'm a fighter, come on, bro. I know ain't nothing wrong with you. So that was already the first strike. But when I was fighting him, I was grounding and pounding, and he heel kicked me in the mouth and dislocated my jaw. So it made my jaw come out of socket just a little bit. And he was heel kicking me and he's waving his feet around like a little bitch. So I ducked down so I wouldn't get kicked in the face with his heel. And he told the referee, he's knocked out, he's knocked out. And I don't know if you guys pay attention, but back in the day, the Pride referees, they hated my guts because I used to beat up some of the Japanese fighters. And so they give me yellow cards and stuff all the time. And that sucks because that's really 10% of your money. They really take 10% of your money. So when he did that, I don't trust the Pride referees. They could have called a fight and made me lose that fight because he told them I was knocked out. So that made me lose my temper, and I tried to kill him.
You came close. You came very close. I mean, there was big debate at that point, Pride versus UFC, which had the better roster. Pride was absolutely unbelievable. Did you feel that you was in the best organization in the world at that time, or was the UFC the premier organization? What did you think?
That's a good question. I just knew that I knew Pride was tougher and the rules was tougher because of the even though there was no elbows, but the knee and the head and stuff on the ground, that's a very dangerous rule. It's change up the wrestling. You can't, the wrestler can't make mistakes. So I figured that the Pride fighters were tougher than the UFC fighters.
And we had that awesome crossover bout where Chuck Liddell came over to Pride. That was a massive bout at the time. It was a dream fight. You defeated Chuck Liddell. At that point, did you think, you already knew that you had what it takes to become UFC champion? Did you think, right, I've beaten a former UFC champion there, a UFC title challenger. I can go over there and win that belt whenever I want.
No, because honestly, that day when I fought Chuck, I had to fight Wanderlei Silva like 45 minutes later, and Wanderlei knocked me the fuck out. So it's like, that canceled everything I did earlier that day because I've never been knocked out before in my life. Wait, I didn't get knocked out that time. The referee stopped it though I got like kneed in the face like 15 times, huh? Yeah. That canceled everything I did that day because I was really upset that I lost. So I didn't judge anything from that because I know that styles make fights. A lot of people might not understand that, but it just depends on the fighter of that day and the style.
In the tournament format of Pride was brutal, fighting multiple times on one night, like you said, and the rivalry with Wanderlei was huge as well. And I'm guessing there was no sweeter victory for yourself personally than beating Wanderlei in the UFC. It was electric that night, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite win to this day when I finally knocked Wanderlei ugly ass out. Yeah, spark out, knock them spark out. I'm gonna tell y'all, I was training with a British boxing coach. He taught me that hook, that left hook. Give me a second. I'm ashamed that I'm having a brain fart right now. He
Showed you the left hook.
He showed me the left hook, and he was an amateur boxing coach. Great guy. He still trained. He looked like Sean Connery. Wow! I'm so ashamed I can't remember my old boxing coach's name. Well, I've been punched a million times, so please forgive me. I almost had his name, but it's.
Well, that rivalry with Wanderlei, because you lost a couple of bouts to him in Pride, in your prime, was that eating away at you at that point? Was you thinking, even if I win the UFC light heavyweight title, that's something I need to rectify. I need to knock him out.
Well, yeah, this is the. Oh, I got it. Mark Kenny. So, hey, I apologize, Mark Kenny, if you see this. So please forgive me. I'm not punch drunk. Okay, I might be a little punch drunk. Yeah, by the way, Mark Kenny taught me that hook. We trained that really hard, and I will always be in debt to Mark Kenny for teaching me that hook that knocked out Wanderlei Silva. All right, so what was your question?
So,
I'm not punch drunk, I swear.
So the Wanderlei Silva losses that you had,
Yeah.
Did you think even if I won the light heavyweight title, but I've not got that win over Wanderlei, that's going to eat me up? I need that.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, I fought Wanderlei 2 times prior, right? And training for Wanderlei, I was with Team Oyama, and we didn't have that many strikers on my team. I was training with jiu-jitsu guys, getting ready for a guy named the Axe Murderer. You know, it's just, guys didn't really want to spar with me. Even like the heavyweights didn't want to spar with me. So it was really hard preparing for him. And so I always felt like I could beat him if I had the right training camp. And then I came to England. I started training with some teams out here, and my sparring partner, my number one sparring partner for that first fight was Paul Daly. Y'all remember him? Yeah, right? Huh? Yeah. He trained me. We trained really hard. My sparring partner, and he fought just like Wanderlei for me. So he like jeopardized a lot of punches, getting punched to train like hold on, wait. It wasn't Paul Daly, it's Paul Kelly.
In Liverpool.
I'm sorry, Paul Kelly. Please forgive me again, Paul Kelly. I had to think about that. It wasn't Paul Daly, Paul Kelly. I swear I'm not punch drunk. I swear. I might be a little punch drunk.
I've seen that you've been talking about a potential 5th fight with Wanderlei. Would you fight him again?
I think we need a 5th fight. 2-2. But I'm old now, I'm heavyweight, so I think we should do it in boxing. What y'all think? A boxing or MMA? Boxing?
Would you not give it a crack in bare knuckle? A lot of guys are going to bare knuckle.
I hate bare knuckle. Yeah, that was fun. I hate bare knuckle. I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys ever see my old ass in a bare knuckle fight, just know that they offered me a Lamborghini and a whole bunch of money.
So you're not saying never, you're just saying for the right price.
It's gonna be millions. It's gonna have to be millions, and they don't pay that much, so it's like.
Well, stay tuned, possibly part 5 between Rampage and Wanderlei. Winning the UFC light heavyweight title must have been an incredible feeling. Against Chuck Liddell, absolute icon. What was that moment like?
I don't remember. That was so long ago. It was, I always believed in myself. I always knew that I had what it took to be champion, but you know, it's weird. I never really fought to, you know, be champion or all that stuff. I just, you know, it was a living. I got a bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? Me to make a living, and it's, back in those days, it was really fun for me to fight. But, you know, it's a good achievement to be champion.
100%. And I think everyone in here will agree that the most entertaining Ultimate Fighter season was season 10, heavyweights, you against Rashad Evans.
Oh, yeah.
That was so fun to watch as a fan. What was it like being a part of it?
I hated every goddamn minute of it. That was, can you guys imagine a person like me living in Las Vegas for 6 weeks? I spent so much money in the nightclubs. I was going out drinking every night, and I'm not even an alcoholic. But for 6 weeks I was drinking every night. It was just hell. But working with Rashad at that time, I hated his guts. He was such a smart ass, you know? I wanted to beat the fuck out of him there every day.
There were times where you guys were getting face to face. It probably happened every other episode where you're face to face and neither of you is budging, and I'm like, someone's gonna throw a punch in a second.
Honestly, if Dana wouldn't have threatened me to, you know, kick me off the show and all that stuff, I probably would have punched him. But I was going through a court case at the time, so I didn't know if I punched him, if, you know, even though we both professional fighters, if I was going to go to jail for it. And, like, I was thinking about hurting him, so I was on my best behavior.
You were on your best behavior. You didn't punch him, but you absolutely destroyed the door on the show. The poor door. Stay away from any door in this arena.
That door did not deserve that. But I was trying to leave because I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I didn't name myself Rampage. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm a fighter. I named myself Rampage to be a fighter. That's a nickname that was given to me when I was a little kid. I'm the nicest guy on the planet, and that's because I'm so nice because I have to stay nice. I have to laugh because I have the worst temper ever. If I lose my temper, it's just, It's so embarrassing. I really hate it. And this is a true story. I have the worst temper on the planet. So I was trying to leave because they cheated one of my fighters. I didn't like the way they was treating my team. And so I was trying to leave the gym, and I knew as soon as I threw that water, I'm like, oh, let me hurry up, get out of here off camera, because I don't know what I'm going to do. If I lose my temper, I don't know what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say. I probably would have hurt somebody. And I tried to open up the door, and it was like a little bitch right there, and it bounced back. And I just said, fuck this door. That's the most embarrassing TV moment of my life. When I lose my temper and stuff like that, it's embarrassing. Like, why do I gotta do that to a door? I headbutt the door. Why I gotta do that? Why I gotta be like that?
Made for great TV, and Dana White would not have been annoyed by that. He's probably thinking, yeah, that's dollar signs, that's views, that's ratings.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he thought, but you know, he didn't pay me extra for it. You know,
the Rashad Evans rivalry, how are you guys now? You all right?
You know what, me and Rashad Evans, we're pretty cool with each other now. We did a movie together. You guys, the director that put me in the movie 18, he put me and Rashad in another movie called Boss Level, and he had us to be twins, German twins. I was like, bro, we don't look German at all. Nobody's gonna believe we're fucking German. The fuck wrong with you, Joe? But he was a genius. He was like, hey, I like both of you guys. I'm gonna make y'all twins. He made us look exactly the same. I don't know how they did that shit. And we became friends. Now me and Rashad are friends.
That fight happened in 2010, the same year as 18 came out.
Yeah.
You're absolutely flying that year in terms of how much you're getting out there, the commercial value you're bringing to yourself. What was that experience like working on the 18?
Well, it was really hard because honestly, I was supposed to fight Rashad Evans in my hometown, and Dana White was really upset with me for taking the movie. But the movie, I was trying to do that movie for years. I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes when a movie come up, sometimes it takes years for them to even get started, and just my luck, it happens right when I was supposed to have a big fight. So I had to choose which one to take, the movie or the fight. And Dana was really upset with me that I chose the movie. It was supposed to be in my hometown. I think if I hadn't took the movie, I would have fought Rashad in my hometown. I would have won that fight. But you know, the movie was a great experience. You know, but I was working for, 5-6 months straight. I couldn't work out, couldn't train because I had tattoos, fake tattoos, and for the first couple of months, my mohawk was a wig. Y'all better not make fun of me about that. Yeah, that looks like a wig too. Yeah, and so I just couldn't train. So as soon as I got done with the movie, I had to go right into a training camp. And I don't know if you guys know about it, but if you don't do nothing for 6 months, it's hard to go right into a training camp. But I would do it all over again because I met some real cool people. Me and Liam Neeson, we're still cool. Chateau Copley and Bradley Cooper, all of us, we still cool. And I got to work with some great guys and a director, Joe Carnahan. You guys would love him. He's the best guy. But you know what? I never met Mr. T. I wanted to meet Mr. T, but Mr. T, he met the director of A-Team, right? Because let this stay in here, don't tell nobody, but Mr. T wanted to be in the movie. He wanted to play B.A. Baracus, which is, it's cool. I understand. But I didn't meet him, but he met the director, and the director told Mr. T, like, hey, Rampage is a huge fan of yours. I'm one of Mr. T's biggest fans ever. That's why I had to do the movie. So Mr. T gave him a Snickers bar to give to me. No, he gave it to, I never met him. He gave it to the director and to give to me. So the director gave me the Snickers bar and I ate it. I asked the director, I said, when he gave you the Snickers bar, did he say, get some nuts? He was like, no, he didn't say that.
That must have been an absolutely incredible experience for you. Would you say you've got the acting bug a bit now? Do you enjoy acting the movie sets?
You know what? I enjoy acting. I got a couple of movies that's going to come out here really soon. Like the next movie gonna come out. I did it with Cowboy Cerrone and Chael Sonnen. It's called Mojave Diamonds. That movie, you guys should watch that movie when it comes out. It should come out soon. It's pretty good. I played like a bad guy, and a movie I did right before that. I did it with Anderson Silva. We did a movie. It's called Lord of the Streets. You guys should watch that one too. I play like a real asshole. I'm a real asshole in that movie. So, like those two characters kind of the same. So I like roles like that when I can be like a bad guy sometimes. I'd rather be a good guy sometimes, but sometimes it's fun to be a bad guy. You got to be a bad guy sometimes if it's a movie. You got to be a bad guy sometimes. Yeah, you have fun, bad guy. Yeah.
Something that I would have loved to have seen in Pride was you go up to heavyweight and fight Fedor, Mirko Krokop, those guys for absolute dream matches. Was that ever on the table for you?
Fuck no!
Staying well away from that.
Mirko Krokop is one of the most dangerous guys to fight in Pride. It's crazy. And he's a southpaw. I hate fighting southpaws. And I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna be 100. Pride didn't pay me enough money to fight those type of people. Pride, they paid everybody else really good except for me. I found out later that I'm the one getting fucked over in Pride. It's bad. You guys don't even want to know how much I was getting paid in Pride. I was doing charity work in Pride. I just started making good money until I came over to the UFC.
What about the heavyweight division in the UFC? Was that something you ever thought, I wouldn't mind going up there, competing for that title?
I enjoyed light heavyweight because I like picking people up and slamming them. I didn't like fighting. Even though I'm a heavyweight now, I wish I wasn't a heavyweight. I wish I was 205. But, you know, food tastes good.